Matters!
Hello everybody and welcome to episode 4 of the Marvel Matters podcast, featuring the spectacular Steve,
Flame on!
the benevolent Ben,
Ben Smash,
the notorious Nath,
Avengers Assemble.
and I'm your host, the tremendous Tom. And today we're going to be talking about the Marvel Cinematic Universe. So I thought we'd start by talking a little bit about Phase 2, considering that Civil War marks the change into Marvel Phase 3.
Okay, so should we list them all out first, just so that we're all happy with what we're talking about? And,
Go for it.
okay, so Phase 2 was Iron Man 3, Thor: The Dark World, Captain America: Winter Soldier, Guardians of the Galaxy, Avengers: Age of Ultron, and Ant-Man.
So I'd probably say that my biggest shock in that was Ant-Man. I wasn't surprised. I wasn't expecting that to be such a good film, and it was.
Yeah, it surprised me. Steve said to me, watch this, because I hadn't seen it, and he was like, get onto that.
And he was right, wasn't he?
You were right, yeah. I've just realised, I've got all my hands up, I hadn't seen Thor: The Dark World.
You're not missing a lot.
You need to sort your life out.
It's not that good.
You know me and my positivity around some of these films.
You're always giving films a good shout out.
Critique.
I've
I
got
quite like Thor: The Dark World.
I've
quite
got it
liked
on
it.
Blu-ray, but I've just not watched it yet.
Why have you got it on Blu-ray and not watched it?
He's watched Ant-Man 5 times.
That's why.
Well, my favourite from this list is probably... Well, no, it definitely is Captain America: Winter Soldier. I love the storyline of it. Yeah, what about you guys?
See, Guardians of the Galaxy were good for me. I didn't watch it straight away, and I kept being quite stubborn with it as well, and I was like, no, I don't want to watch that, and then eventually succumbed to it, and it was amazing.
I just
Loved it.
absolutely love Chris Pratt.
Yeah, he's decent, isn't
Chris
he?
Pratt is... I loved... I don't think any of you guys have all seen Parks and Rec.
Nope.
It's an American sitcom, like it was a spin-off
It's
from
not
The
by
Office.
Marvel, though, is it? So
Yeah, but Chris Pratt was in it. He was in a Marvel film,
Just
and it was really
jokes.
funny.
Tom, stop being a prat, will you?
Hey, what about you, Ben? Which was your favourite from the list?
It's a toughie. I like Age of Ultron. I do like Ant-Man, and I like Winter Soldier. Them three probably stand out for me. Probably leaning towards Age of Ultron, and then closely followed by the Guardians of the Galaxy.
That's fair enough. I just, in Guardians of the Galaxy, the biggest thing that stood out for me was that first scene. You know, where he's on that, alien planet.
with the soundtrack in the background.
Yeah, and he's
Yeah,
just,
yeah.
dancing.
With his headphones, just dancing
in.
around.
Yeah.
That was epic.
I went to watch the Age of Ultron with you, didn't I, Tom?
Yeah, I think so,
Did we watch it the first time? We both come out and went, meh.
Yeah, we did.
And then
we watched it again.
And
and we were like,
and we're like, yes,
That was
that's
awesome.
good. Yeah.
We watched it at the midnight showing, didn't we?
Yeah, we did, yeah. Maybe we were just knackered.
Yeah.
Maybe you shouldn't do these midnight showing things.
Yeah.
Can't give you full, undivided attention.
Just means we get to go twice, one at midnight, one the next day.
So that, to me, looks like not many films, considering when you look at the list we've got coming up for Marvel Phase 3. Do you think, what's the crack with it? Do they try and just sort of get a whole storyline in a phase, do you think? Obviously, this started kind of at the end of the first Avengers. So do you think Marvel Phase 2 was concentrating on the formula of the Avengers and everything like that, or...?
So I don't really know. I mean, for me, Iron Man 3 feels like it was a long time ago.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like, I
That
don't-
was
Iron Man's
the
feel
first one, though, wasn't it, after the Avengers?
Do we know which was the first film out of those?
they're
Was
in order, I think.
Are they in order?
They're
Yeah.
in order, yeah. The ones the way I read it out, yeah.
Oh, right, okay. Yeah, it does feel like ages, doesn't
It
it?
does feel like a long time ago. I mean, Iron Man 3 I remember, but like Thor: The Dark World, I don't remember it massively. Like I say, Thor, I wasn't a big fan of that film. It wasn't my favourite film at all. I wasn't...
For me, it had elves in it, so I was well up for it.
Did any of them have red hair, though?
I can't remember now. Probably.
Definitely not, because if they did, he would have remembered.
Yeah.
That's a good point, actually.
Are they doing any more Iron Man? Or is that done now?
I don't think they're doing any more individual Iron Man at the moment, are they?
No.
Robert Downey Jr. doesn't really want to do the role anymore,
I
does
don't
he?
think he's very keen on it, is he? I know he doesn't do a lot of the filming like now, other than
What he
anything when
needs
you
to.
have to see his face. So
Yeah.
all the stuff in the costume and things like it isn't him.
What's not to like about playing the Iron Man role?
I don't know. I imagine getting millions and millions and millions of pounds at every film as well is probably not that exciting.
And putting your hand up and just blowing people away?
I can't think. Yeah, I'm working with Scarlett
I think he actually
Johansson.
does that, though.
You would, wouldn't you?
It sounds like a rubbish life to me. I mean, I'd probably bin it off as well.
On a different note, what did just strike me is, do you think the quantity has changed because of the popularity of Marvel?
Yeah, well, they're doing 3 or 4 a year now, aren't they? Whereas if you look at that list that we've just read out, there's 6 in total, is there? I'd say that maybe like a 3-year period. So obviously the frequency that they're getting them in now is a lot more.
I think they'll have bigger budgets as well for how much they've made from the other films, won't they?
Mahoneys.
More
It's all
Yeah,
about
I
the
think
money.
considering the overarching plot that they've got of Phase 3, which is the Infinity Wars, I think they've got a lot more content there where they're bringing together so many different characters. So that's probably another reason why they've got so many different films, because they've got a longer sort of narrative distance to cover.
Yeah, they've probably got a sort of an overview. They've probably got a bigger plan, if you like, a bigger picture of where they want to get to for Infinity Wars.
Yeah.
Obviously, I hope and I presume they'll bring in the Guardians and put everybody with the Avengers, get everyone together, and not necessarily in Infinity Wars Part 1, but over the 2 Infinity War films. I imagine that they're going to have a lot of characters to deal with. So
Yeah.
I suppose they've got no choice other than to bring these characters in. I mean, when we look in a minute at Phase 3, again, we'll touch on even more characters which have come in or are coming in before the Infinity Wars.
Yeah.
So I imagine that everything, all roads lead to the Infinity Wars.
I'd say so.
I see what you've done there.
See what I did there?
For me, though, once they lead up to that, because they're doing Phase 4, aren't they, as well?
Yeah.
Where are they going to go after that? You know what I mean? It's like the big, massive...
Yeah,
end all.
we'll
Maybe later on in the podcast
we'll
we
probably
can
discuss
it.
that after
right,
Phase
okay.
3.
All right, okay. Have I jumped the gun there?
Yeah, a little bit.
Spoiler alert. Sorry.
Before we move on to Phase 3, let's do Steve's Marvel Mystery.
Marvel Mystery!
Okay, so let me get it out of the bag.
Okay,
Very exciting.
the tension's building. I can feel the nerves in my chest. What is it? Is it Scarlett Johansson?
I like his bag.
Scarlett Johansson coming out the bag.
Oh.
It's not what the box says. Don't get overly excited and ruin it. And
no.
don't get the wrong DVD
Okay,
like
so-
you did last time.
Steve's got out the Hulkbuster Lego.
No, he hasn't.
Box.
I've just told you it's not.
I know, that's what I'm saying. I'm saying what the box is, that's
Okay,
all.
I'll lay off. Basically, what I've got here is a box with all my Lego minifigures
Oh my God, no way.
in. All my Lego Marvel minifigures. I'll take a picture and we'll put it on Twitter. Yeah,
I'm going to just
there's Doctor
dive in
Doom.
and have a look myself.
Is that Carnage?
yeah.
No way.
I think there's 120 something figures in there.
Yeah, boy.
I've basically got every single one apart from Jean Grey,
The really expensive one from
which
Comic
was
Con.
the San Diego Comic Con exclusive.
Is that Dr. Rock as
I
well?
promise I'm not a geek. I've got 2 Dr. Rocks.
Yeah, boy.
And Venom. That's
Yeah,
how much
we
I
could.
get.
out.
I've got, like you say, you name a character, he's in there or she's in there.
No, have you got Captain Marvel?
Yeah,
Where is she?
Who's this guy?
Let's
there,
see her.
right there.
Who's this guy who looks like Harry
No
Potter?
way. That's it. What's she got her head?
Who's the Harry Potter
No, it's a
lookalike?
red head for when she's flaming in the sky.
I can
when
just
she's
see
flying
like
around.
Captain
Oh,
America's
right.
shield underneath.
We could
all
do
the
a whole
characters.
show on this if you like. I mean, speaking of Iron Man 3, there's the Mandarin.
Yeah, a good idea to do a Lego show at some point, wouldn't it? And just
Hey,
talk about all the Lego
We'd
stuff.
have to do it from my house though, because I'm not bringing the helicarrier around here.
Why not?
Nath. Black Panther.
Speaking of Guardians of the Galaxy,
Slip that here.
Star-Lord.
Steve won't have to know.
What's,
I'll
he got,
slip
what's,
that
the, what's the orb?
that's the orb, isn't it?
Oh,
From-
yeah,
from the
from
film.
the film, yeah.
I've got 2 Star-Lords somewhere, one with his mask on as well.
I think they could have done better with that.
Falcon.
Black Panther, they could have done better with that one.
It's hard to do his costume, though, isn't it?
These
He's
little-
a
Give them
Mark
some
1 as
crazy
well, isn't he?
claws.
All right, let's do this little debate while we're there. Falcon that Ben's got in his hand, Civil War Falcon, or classic original Red Falcon.
Oh, Civil War Falcon.
Civil War.
Civil War Falcon,
see, I'd
yeah.
go classic Falcon every time.
You like to be the odd one out there, don't you?
I don't know. It's just that's from, I suppose from my Captain America roots though. The classic Falcon is on a lot
On
of
the
covers. And
So
he's
the classic Falcon is like a red suit. If nobody's seen it, it's more like literally it's like a classic Marvel costume, isn't it? Basically,
everyone's going to know that costume.
are they?
The classic red Falcon costume. Yeah,
As if you got MODOK.
yeah, of course. Yeah.
We'll have to
Genius.
put a picture of MODOK up.
After last week as well, we've got
that's ridiculous.
Taskmaster.
Taskmaster, decent.
Episode 1 of our podcast. Danny Rand, Iron Fist.
No way.
Yeah.
He cost me quite a bit of money because they don't make him anymore.
That's cool.
Ouch.
Yeah, a bit of a collector though, aren't I? So I couldn't not have him.
Who's that? What's he got in his hand?
It's
Yeah.
Ronan the Accuser.
Oh, that's decent.
Oh,
Well,
Ronan's
that's quality.
class.
He looks ace.
Like
Ronan's
I
a
say,
beast.
there probably isn't a character you can't think of that isn't in that box.
That's genius. Well, thank you very much for
Yeah.
bringing those in.
I just got to take them home safely because if I break them or lose them, I will not be impressed.
What about anybody else? Has anybody else got any Marvel Lego or anything like that?
No.
I haven't.
No, I've always looked at it and I've always thought about buying stuff. Like, I love looking at the Hulkbuster. I was going to buy that a while back, but I collect the Star Wars Lego stuff, so I can't really do two things.
Yes.
The Hulkbuster's well worth buying, though, to be fair. The Lego Hulkbuster is a really, really, really nebula. I couldn't think of a name. It's a really good set, and it's a good build, and to be fair, when it's finished, it looks awesome.
Yeah, at some point, we'll definitely make a load of videos of your Lego and stick it on the YouTube channel.
Let's do it.
You've got so much Lego. It's genius. That's awesome. Well, thank you very much for bringing that in.
No problem whatsoever. I'm going to put it off the table just so that Ben doesn't keep messing with it for the remainder of the show.
Okay.
It's a good idea.
Okay, so let's move on to Phase 3 of the Marvel Cinematic Universe then. We've got quite a few films here that are going to come out. Do you want to give us a list again, Steve?
Yeah, okay. So the start, like you said earlier, the start of Phase 3 is Civil War, which is this year, and then obviously that leads on to Doctor Strange this year, Guardians of the Galaxy 2,
Woo!
Spider-Man, we'll touch more on Spider-Man later, Thor, Ragnarok. Those 3 films are out in 2017. Then the Black Panther.
There he is.
2018, along with Infinity Wars Part 1, Ant-Man and the Wasp. They're both 2018. Captain Marvel,
there
2019. And then again, Avengers Infinity Wars Part 2 and the Inhumans movie, all 2019.
Okay, so off the bat, what is the Inhumans movie?
I'm not sure they're still making that.
Okay.
Only because I've read a few things over the last few months. And because of, again, without ruining things for too many people that haven't, especially around the table, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. and their content about Inhumans,
Yep.
I believe, is leading the way a little bit. And I think the idea was that was to lead into the movie, but with Spider-Man coming into the frame now,
Yep.
I'm not sure whether that Inhumans movie is still definitely going ahead.
All right.
I've just read a few different people's opinions, and there's all unofficial stuff and different podcasts, blogs, things like that, and people basically saying that that film is a doubt.
So it is based on the storyline that they've been building up in S.H.I.E.L.D.
Yeah, well, it's based on the Inhumans. I'm not sure whether it'll be the same characters.
Yep.
But same concept, same. It's very close to the X-Men, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's very, very
yeah,
close.
it's basically the same storyline, isn't it?
It's basically
Except
Marvel.
fish oil.
It's Marvel getting their X-Men back without getting X-Men back.
Yeah, I see.
Do you know what I mean? That it's
Yep.
Marvel getting the chance to make an X-Men movie without the X-Men. If that makes any sense at all.
Okay, well,
As you just mentioned, S.H.I.E.L.D., what season are they on now?
3.
Did I see somewhere that they are doing a Series 4? That's confirmed? Or have I just made that up?
I think S.H.I.E.L.'s been confirmed. I think Agent Carter is a big doubt at the moment.
Oh, right, okay.
Again, there's a big thing on Twitter going around at the moment with a hashtag of Save Agent Carter.
that's fair enough.
Get it trending.
So, what are your most anticipated movies then?
We all know what Nath is, don't we?
No,
Yeah,
you might as well start
it's,
with you because it's obvious.
Yeah, it's Thor Ragnarok. No. Well, actually, Thor Ragnarok I am looking forward to, but I don't know. I just really want to see Black Panther again. I just think it looks ace.
Just want more Black Panther.
To be fair, looking at the Civil War trailers, he does look immense.
He does look like a decent
But
character, doesn't
from
he?
that list, though, it's great. I want to see. I can't wait to see Civil War, Doctor Strange, Guardians of the Galaxy 2. I'm not too keen about Spider-Man. I don't know why. I've never been a big Spider-Man fan.
I don't think anyone is. I don't think anyone of our age.
Yeah.
I think everyone of our age and our generation has got bored of Spider-Man from a movie sense. I think you've got all your sort of proper Marvel fans, your die-hard Marvel fans that love Spider-Man.
Yeah.
And Spider-Man is their number one. He's their idol, their poster boy.
Yeah.
But from us and our generation, we've had so much Spider-Man growing up, especially in the UK, because we don't get all the characters all the time. We don't get all the original, all the movies. We don't get all the comics.
Yeah.
So for us, Spider-Man's been done to death.
Yeah, I agree. There's quite a lot of Spider-Man films, isn't there?
I hope they surprise us and go completely different to what all the other Spider-Man films have been.
Yeah, I've from what I've read, again, without giving anything away from Civil War, a couple of things. One of the best things about Civil War is Spider-Man.
Yeah,
Again,
well, I've just started reading it last night.
it's meant to be really fresh. It's meant to be really new and different, and hopefully we'll get that impression from the solo Spider-Man movie when it comes out, and we'll all sit here in 2017 and say, do you know what? Yeah, it was a really good movie.
Maybe that's why it will be a good movie, because we're not expecting anything of it. We have absolute zero expectations.
Yeah.
Like same as Ant-Man, same effect as Ant-Man.
Yeah, that's true.
I just think the same thing. Like, we've had so much exposure to Spider-Man over the years, including even like when we were younger, we had the Spider-Man cartoon that was on Saturday morning. Spider-Man was massive. Like, it was probably the biggest Marvel character in this country when we were growing up.
Yeah, I was going to say
100%,
that.
yeah.
He's probably the first Marvel character I think of from childhood, I reckon.
I'd say he still is, though, for children. I mean, obviously, me having a little one, all the clothes I buy for him, Marvel clothes, they're all Spider-Man. Everything is all for babies and toddlers is all Spider-Man. The Amazing Spider-Man. Cartoons, toys, everything is Spider-Man. So it's not changed. Nothing's gone any different. I was just Spider-Man crazy.
Maybe he's a beginner's Marvel, like, as you're growing up, that's how they do it.
Level 1.
Yeah. And then as you get older, you move on.
Ben, then, what about you? What's your most anticipated film from that list?
I'm quite looking forward to Guardians of the Galaxy 2. Really enjoyed the first one.
Yeah.
Like the characters in that, so I'm hoping that delivers. But, like Nath, I quite like the prospect of Black Panther. He's quite an intriguing character, isn't he? So it's good to see him in Civil War. If he's decent in that, then I'm all over Black Panther. But on the sly here, I quite like Thor. The fact of, I know Hulk's going to be in there as well.
Yeah.
So it could be quite interesting to see that partnership. And because you wouldn't think they're the most likely of friends, would you really?
No, not really.
So it could be quite good, that could. Like I say, but with me not seeing the second Thor film, I'm a bit
You'll be even more sceptical after watching it.
Yeah, that's true.
To be fair, the Thor solo film, like Thor's probably one of my favourite characters just because of like the way he talks and stuff like that, and his cultural, the sort of ignorance. I just really like him. But the actual Thor films on their own, I've been kind of underwhelmed by both of them. I quite liked the last one, but I only quite liked it. Like I have no rush in me to go back and watch it again, like I have done a lot with like the Avengers, Age of Ultron, Captain America, everything like that. I have no urgency in me to go and watch these again. So
they're not bad films, are they? But they're not outstanding films. I mean, the one thing that sticks out for me is that, for me, in my opinion, which again everyone's different, I just think they spent too much time on Earth in the Thor movies. I wanted to see more Asgard. I wanted to see everything, more space, more Asgard, more different things, rather than a god on Earth.
Yeah.
You're hard to please, though, aren't you? We know this.
A little bit, yeah. But
I just didn't think there was enough character building of Thor, because obviously the whole film, like especially in the first Thor, I just felt like there wasn't enough of those moments where you really sort of appreciate Thor and his cultural differences and everything like that. And I just felt like there was such a good opportunity to build the character in such a foreign environment to him, which is so familiar to us. And I just don't feel like they capitalised on that. And I just really wanted to be invested in Thor more than I actually was.
Yeah.
I suppose, again, though, I mean, the whole origin story of Thor, compare that to the Spider-Man discussion we just had.
Yeah.
Spider-Man's origin's been done to death.
Yeah.
On every movie, every time. What did we really learn about Thor's origin? I mean,
how did Spider-Man get his powers again?
I don't know. I've never seen it, mate.
I don't know, mate. I'll have to research that for next week's show.
Cheers, mate.
Okay. But, again, we there was just little bits and little snippets, wasn't there? We didn't get a massive amount of information. I don't know. That's just, again, my opinion.
That's fair enough then. What about you then, Steve? What's your most anticipated movie?
Again, there's quite a few, like Ben said, and Nath as well. Guardians of the Galaxy 2, I really hope to be very good. Like Black Panther is obvious, again, like same reasons as the other two guys. And then Ant-Man and the Wasp.
Yeah.
Because I really liked the Ant-Man film. I thought it was outstanding. And obviously Evangeline Lilly playing the Wasp.
That's going to be probably the best part of that film.
It'll also be the first Marvel film to have a female lead in the title.
Oh, right.
Yeah, they've just kicked Carol Danvers in the face with Captain Marvel, because that's been moved back, obviously, because Ant-Man and the Wasp got sort of squeezed in, didn't it, when they decided to make a sequel after the success of Ant-Man.
Did we know who's going to be playing Carol Danvers yet?
No, they're apparently announcing it in the summer along with the director.
Ah, okay, good. So from my perspective, I think my most anticipated movie from that is probably going to be Captain Marvel, just because it's going to be the first film that's a full female lead. Yes, okay, Wasp is in Ant-Man, but it's the first time that Marvel have become...
Ant-Man and the Wasp.
Okay, yeah, whatever.
Thanks.
But it's the first time, literally, she's going to be the titular hero of this film. And it's the first time that Marvel have done that, and it's the first whole, like, female-focused film. I'm really excited to see what they do with that. I hope they execute it well. I don't know a lot about this character, so I'm excited to learn more about her as well, where she got her powers, what she can do. So I'm really looking forward to that, to be honest. As well as, of course, Infinity War. Because the Infinity War is just going to be like an epic scale battle, basically, between Thanos and the Avengers.
I think Civil War is just a teaser of what that's going to be, in it, really.
Yeah.
It's just setting the scene, really.
It's crazy, isn't it? Because all those films pretty much are leading up to Infinity War.
I was just going to say that. For me, Guardians of the Galaxy 2 in space. Obviously, we know they've got a lot of previous with Thanos from the first film.
Yep.
And then you've obviously got Infinity Wars Part 1, which is, for me, should probably include some of the Guardians characters. But then Captain Marvel, again, she's a space-based character.
Yeah.
So that's just before Infinity Wars Part 2. So are they going to introduce her to the Infinity Wars with the Guardians and the whole space side of things?
That'd be good.
Again, it's another side of Marvel that we've not seen yet.
I suppose because it's like with Black Panther, we're getting a snippet of him in Civil War, but then we're going to get his film afterwards. So if they did a similar thing, like you say, with Captain Marvel, that'd be the same sort of way to drop it in, wouldn't it?
Yeah, I think it'll just link the whole space thing up nicely, because it's something, like I say, it's going to be, those 2 or 3 films are all going to basically be in space.
Yeah.
And I think even Thor, Ragnarok, with them being with Hulk and everything else and up there, I think there's some, again, they can't have all the characters in it, can they?
No.
It's going to end up being
They
like
could try, though.
It'd be like the Game of Thrones. There'll be like 10 seconds with each character.
Well, I think it's going to be like, I think it's going to be bringing sort of a close to a lot of the characters we know.
Yeah.
Not to go too much into Phase 4 yet, because we're going to move on to that in a minute, but they have said that a lot's going to change in Phase 4, haven't they?
Yeah.
Especially with regards to the members of the Avengers.
Yeah, I think the whole Iron Man and Captain America type characters that have been around for a while.
Maybe that's why they're bringing Captain Marvel in. Maybe she's going to be sort of a pivotal role. Like if they kill off Captain America, maybe she's going to step in and be that sort of leader character.
But what about Black Panther?
Black Panther is like a badass, though, isn't he? He's not a leader. He's more like a Lone Ranger.
If that film goes well, like a good success, he's got to be in Infinity Wars, hasn't he?
Great success. Yeah, I also think that Nath's probably going to change his name to T'Challa.
I already have. Spoiler alert.
Wait, we need to make up a new name for you. Tremendous is already taken.
It's a bit of a mouthful as well.
Tremendous T'Challa. Okay, so should we move on to Phase 4 then? Phase 4 is planned between 2020 and 2028, so that's 8 years of films.
Wow.
That's a shame, isn't it?
Yeah, damn it. So the first 3 untitled films are scheduled...
Can we just say, sorry to interrupt you, but
it's quite
8 years, 3 movies a year. I'm pretty good at maths, 24 movies.
Wow, that's good maths.
If you put it into perspective like that, though, 24 Marvel movies, potentially.
Yeah.
That's a lot of movies, isn't it?
That is a lot of movies.
It is, but when you go 3 a year, to me, I want more.
Oh, yeah, no, that's... I don't get me wrong, I could watch 1 a month, no problem. No problem.
I don't know, I like the frequency and the fact that you only see a couple a year, because it makes them that much more special.
It's a lot of films, that's all. That's all I wanted to just express my excitement.
You're very true with your statement.
Thanks.
And your mathematics are very accurate.
Tom, it's over to you.
Okay, moving on. So there's 3 films scheduled for 2020 to kick off the Phase 4 of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Anybody got any film predictions for these?
Yep. Black Panther 2.
And 3 and 4.
He said predictions, not wish list.
All right, sorry.
That's coming afterwards.
What we should have done there was a drum roll, but after last week on Twitter we got quite criticised for having a really poor drum roll.
That's your fault.
So maybe we shouldn't do that.
Everyone, that was Steve's fault. Nate does a good drum roll.
Very awkward silence.
Anyway, predictions. You've said Black Panther 2. That's probably not that far of a bad shout, though, really, is it?
Depending on the success of it, obviously.
Yeah.
I thought I saw somewhere that, depending on how Spider-Man goes, Spider-Man might be a couple of them. Like a 3-part Spider-Man thing, with this first one being Homecoming. Don't know whether that's true or not.
Guardians of the Galaxy 3, maybe?
I'd like that one.
I'd like that.
For me, you two have just hit the nail on the head with 2 of the 3 that I've got in my head is Spider-Man 2. I think 3 years after Spider-Man, 2017, so that's a definite for me. That will 100%, one of those films will be a Spider-Man movie.
Yep.
Sorry, I forgot to say something before we went on about Spider-Man, and I don't know whether this again is true or whether I've just made it up.
No, his Uncle Ben did not invent the rice. That is not true.
This is one of our made-up facts.
Mate, I don't know whether I saw that it's going to be a new villain in that Spider-Man.
Michael Keaton is the actor, apparently.
Yeah.
I think that's been announced, actually, hasn't it?
Yes, it has, yeah.
Former Batman.
Is anybody else seeing that, or that it's going to be a new villain, so it's not going to be
yes, I have.
one of the ones that we know?
we've seen
I
previously.
believe it to be Vulture.
That's who I'd got in my head.
Yeah,
I don't even know who that is.
that's what I've read so far. Again, it's all rumour and it's
Is it
all
just an actual vulture? Like
It's,
it's like a superhero.
no. But what I've read is Vulture's very similar to Hawkeye. Hawkeye, he's nothing like Hawkeye.
vulture, right?
Vulture with a bow and arrow. He's very similar to Falcon in
Okay.
terms
It's
of
his long lost
the
cousin.
wings.
Is he part of the bird crew?
The bird crew, yeah. Aye. But then
The aviators.
one of the things that I've read is that, again, there's talks of tying it in with the Falcon history and the wings and the sort of mechanics behind it.
He
and
said he
things
had a
like
teammate, didn't he?
that. Yeah, but I'm not sure if that's the route they're going to go. Hopefully they will, because it'll be a good way to slot him in nicely without it feeling like they've just dumped him there out of one of them crazy teddy grabbing machines that's just chucked him down.
I'm pretty sure he said his teammate died, though.
Yeah, but this is Marvel. Anything
That's
can
true.
happen.
It's very true.
He thought he died. He left him to die.
They've announced that they're going to in Phase 4 they will be starting a brand new franchise. So somebody that we haven't seen yet, they're going to be starting a series of films about that character. So that'll be interesting to see who that is, because it could be anyone.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 is a given for one of those.
Yep.
Just because of the timings, 3 years after that second one. So looking at those 2017 releases, I think Guardians 2 will become Guardians 3, and I think Spider-Man will do a Spider-Man 2.
I think they'll do a New Avengers. I think they'll probably call it something like the New Avengers, and they'll.
That's a creative title, Thomas.
Thanks.
What's that about?
I'm pretty sure there was a comic called
There
the New
was, yeah.
Avengers.
Yes, there was.
But I think they'll do something like that, where they've got this sort of leftover team from Ragnarok of people who haven't died. Because I think they'll probably get rid of a few characters. I reckon they'll probably get rid of, by then, at least, like Tony Stark, Captain America. I think probably maybe a few more.
Captain America or Steve Rogers?
Well, Steve Rogers.
You see, you've got to tread carefully
Bucky
with these
Barnes,
rumours you're
apologies.
spreading on this podcast.
So I think they might do something like the New Avengers, and they'll do a full Avengers film, but obviously with a sort of...
New Avengers.
Yeah, with new Avengers in it.
It's
good.
new people in it.
It's probably some Avengers that are new. Yeah.
See, if we had
Yeah.
one of them, if we had a soundboard now, that spoiler alert button would be getting pressed to death, because I tell you,
Next week, I told
people
you.
are going to be sat at home, minds are blown. So that leaves us with one. Are we sort of in agreement that we think that Spider-Man 2 and Guardians 3
Yeah.
could potentially be two
Well,
of those
maybe
movies?
on that other one they might bring a new character in.
Yeah, could be.
Anybody got any theories about what character it would be?
Honestly, again, could they potentially bring one of the Netflix characters to the big screen?
I don't think they will.
Apparently they're allowed. Apparently the contracts now state that they can be used for big... Because again, there's all talk of them being in the Infinity Wars as well.
Yeah. I watched a interview with the director, I can't remember the director's name, of Civil War.
Just make it up. Nate does it
Gary Woodside.
Nate does it all the time. How many people I don't know Google it, Gary Woodside? Please be real, please be real.
Yeah, so when they asked Gary Woodside whether they would bring in the TV characters into the cinematic universe, they just mentioned... all he said was there was a difference in tone, because it's quite darker.
Could that have been Kevin Feige?
Maybe. There's two brothers, isn't there, who do it?
The Wedding Brothers.
Whedon.
Same thing, isn't it? I've heard it both ways.
Not Wedding. The Wedding brothers.
Whedon.
Anyway, it was somebody who directed that film.
Two brothers seem to be the key to success, don't they?
I think we're killing this bit, so... Anyway, yeah, they asked him about the TV characters coming into the cinematic universe, and all he said was, at the moment, there's too much of a difference in tone, because the TV series are quite dark compared to the cinematic universe.
Yeah, the other side of that, though, is, we're 5 years off that, yeah, aren't we?
Yeah, exactly.
Maybe 4, 5, 6, 7 years. I don't know. A lot can change in that time, can't it?
They've got to go for some of the more classic kind of favourites of people, who, the comic book readers, that kind of generation. They've got to go for some of the classic characters, aren't they?
There's so many. Like I say, there's so many out there.
Okay.
There's some
Give us some
serious.
examples.
Moon Knight.
Yeah, him.
Moon Knight would be a great
I'd
one.
love a Moon Knight film.
Or Namor.
Or
Namor was a villain, though, isn't he?
why not do a villains movie?
Do you know what? I was thinking that a few moments ago.
After last week's talking about the villains and things, a lot of people, the feedback we've had from the villain side of it was quite positive, and like a lot of people didn't know a lot about the villains, but that's because the villains seem to come in and go out again. Obviously, why not build up an origin of a villain?
That'd be good.
Right, to Marvel, if you're listening right now,
Which they will be.
Which he will be, obviously. Obviously.
In fact, Marvel just texted me saying, "Yeah, that sounds like a good idea." Even though we're not live.
I was going to say, I didn't know we were live.
Marvel have got mind reading powers. That's telekinesis, Kyle.
So let's move on to kind of a thing. We've been talking about all these characters today. I just thought a nice little question would be, considering last week we said if you could spend a day with a villain, if you could spend a day with a Marvel hero, who would it be and why?
Right, okay, I'll take that, because for those that can't see Ben, he's
frantically pointing at Steve.
Rather nervous about the question, and I'm not stalling at all. Yeah, for me, I don't know. Again, it's a really good one. I mean, I would probably go with somebody in space.
Yeah.
Purely because I'd get to go to space, and obviously that would be unbelievably good. I mean, Star-Lord could be a good one, because his character is...
Just go out on the lash with him.
Yeah.
He's just have a random dance-off in space with him.
Listening to 80s music.
That would be
Listening to some classic tracks on the mixtape Volume 2. Having a dance-off with him and some bad guys with a talking raccoon and a big tree.
Yeah, that's
so
pretty cool.
Star-Lord, yeah, that's such a good shout. That I've done well there. I'll take that, Star-Lord.
Okay, I'll go next. I'd like to... I know it sounds probably obvious, but I think Tony Stark would be a great one, just so you can mess about in his gadgets lab all day. Like, you can mess with his...
You can mess about with Tony Stark.
You can mess about with Tony Stark.
I think you get arrested for that nowadays.
Why?
I don't think it's really legal.
Why?
I think he has to give you permission.
And it says go do it against his will.
As long as you don't hand him stuff, he'll be fine.
No, I just think it'd be class to see like the Avengers Tower and all his little inventions and all of his Iron Man suits. Imagine being able to like go in an Iron Man suit for a day.
Oh yeah, that'd be unbelievable.
So, you know, he's got loads. He's got one that he can spare.
Yeah, that's decent. And he's got bare duds, so you could...
That means a lot of money for everyone else listening.
Could probably take you some pretty cool places, couldn't he?
Like some bars.
Something like that, yeah.
Okay, so what about you two?
I'm
Stalling.
Nate, would yours be T'Challa?
No, actually, I had decided, but I was getting sidetracked. I'll go Deadpool. Could have some serious fun with Deadpool.
Wouldn't he be like chopping people up next to you though?
Yeah, but I didn't get that he was quite that violent thug in this film. I thought he had a good reason to be doing that.
Yeah, I suppose.
I don't think you could hack it. Like, you'd be being sick everywhere.
We could go and get chimichangas. We could chill out. You know what I mean? He's a good laugh.
Definitely, just because he's a good lad. He's a good lad.
He's a good lad. But he is a good laugh also as well.
It would be a
like
funny
from his
day.
movie, it's funny, isn't it? You know what I mean?
Oh, he's got his sense of humour is second to none. It'd be very, very
It's almost
entertaining.
like your sense of humour, Steve. It's very similar.
Very similar. We have been compared several times. I'm just an overweight Deadpool.
So yeah, I'm going to say Deadpool.
So Nate, what about you?
I'm going to say Doctor Strange.
That's a strange one.
Oh, that's a strange
Very,
choice.
very strange. Just because if you spent the day with him, it'd just be really strange.
Would it...
Do you think he's just dead creepy to women? Like, he just goes to the beach and sits next to him on a towel and stuff.
In various dimensions.
Yes.
In the
'cause
multiverse.
Again, like, it's back to Steve's kind of space thing. You'd get to, go into space.
You
And
get to
then
see the multiverse as well.
Yeah, and you could go different dimensions and,
That'd be sick.
I've got a
you'd see
question
your
for
own
you.
self in a different dimension.
I've got a question. If
Go
you're
on.
spending a day with Doctor Strange,
Yeah.
yes or no, would you wear a cape?
Yes.
Yes, there it
There's
is.
one answer to that
There it
question,
is.
isn't there?
That's why he wants to spend a day with Doctor Strange.
I think he wants to go and find his female self in another dimension. Chat her up.
Just so I can go and see T'Challa in every dimension possible.
You could start a fan club here, Nate.
Every single T'Challa. Right then, so should we move on to character of the week? Character of the week! So this week it was my turn to choose, and I chose a very obscure character.
Left field.
I wanted to push the boundaries of this segment. So my character was Raizo Kodo. So I'm just going to give a few facts about him, and then you guys can chime in with your facts, all right? So basically, he was a medieval warrior turned vampire. He killed his vampire turned family before being bitten himself by his lady friend. When he turned, he tried to kill himself, but he couldn't, and he found that he liked his new self. He also came across Charles Xavier, and he saved his life, and Charles eventually went to describe him as I've had years to reflect, to consider on how different he is from the rest of his kind. Somehow he found a way to overcome his nature and live on his own terms. So basically, he's managed to live with his vampire tendencies. After that, he joined several vampire-based militia to learn how to fight before eventually forming his own called The Forgiven. And he appeared primarily in the X-Men series and the Hulk vs. Dracula series. Okay, so any facts from you guys?
Yeah, okay. So again, it was quite tough trying to find anything about this guy, Quasimodo, because I think Tom made him up. But yeah, basically some of Raizo's more vampire-specific powers, because obviously you've not mentioned much about his powers.
Yep.
So they include vampirism, which is the capabilities of transforming somebody into a vampire, obviously by biting them, which is the obvious thing we've seen on all the vampire classics over the years. Like all vampires, he has fangs and claws. Basically, that helps him quickly sort of drain blood from his victims. And also, he is immortal. Immortal in the sense of he's immune to the effects of aging and diseases, and as long as he takes in fresh blood on a regular basis.
Typical vampire
Basically,
powers.
standard vampire powers.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's me.
Okay, who's next?
I'll go. He has the ability to shapeshift, so he can shapeshift into a bat, a rat, a wolf, and even mist.
Mist. See,
Mist.
that's like a real crazy power, that is, isn't it?
It's ace, isn't it?
Being able to turn into mist is not like your traditional vampire sort of power either, so
No.
that's kind of interesting.
I quite like that.
Ben, what about you?
He was born in Japan.
Okay.
That's a great
No,
fact.
I think I actually saw somewhere, you might know this, Tom, if I'm right, or I could just be making it up because we like to do that. Is it silver if he's hurt by like anything silver, a bit like vampires, that he can't quite heal and do his regeneration and all that kind of thing the same? That's like his kryptonite, if you like.
It might be. That's traditionally werewolves in lore, but I didn't actually read that much into his vampirism, so maybe.
All
He's
right.
got all the other standard vampire powers as well, hasn't he? Like the superhuman strength and
Speed,
and all that
agility,
sort of thing.
immortality. Yes, so I just thought he was an interesting little side character from the X-Men series. Rather than choosing like a full-on character this week, I thought I'd try and pick somebody random. I just thought it was really interesting that they brought sort of vampirism into the Marvel universe. It seems so out of place.
It's very different, like supernatural kind of side to it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There is, though, but again, if you look into the characters and the vast array of them in the Marvel world, I mean, you've got Dracula, obviously he's a Marvel character.
Yep.
I mean, there's so many characters and so many left field characters like Howard the Duck,
Yeah.
for example.
That's got to be one.
Yeah, they might.
Howard the
that could be
Duck.
one.
That's a classic. Santa,
Yes, the
obviously,
most powerful mutant
the most
in the universe.
powerful mutant in the universe. I mean, there's such literally a wide scale of Marvel characters that it doesn't surprise me anymore.
Yeah, and considering that Raizo is sort of a side character, the fact that he does have such a sort of rich backstory of killing his brother and his family and all that sort of stuff, it's amazing like how well Marvel tells stories like this. They just get it spot on.
Well, the other thing is they're not afraid. They're not afraid to go left field and to pick something a little bit different. And
Yeah.
obviously, because they're Marvel, they can kind of do that, and nobody really questions it. I
It
mean,
changes it up as well, and it keeps it interesting as well, doesn't it?
it's not
different
predictable,
every
isn't
time.
it?
Yeah,
That's the thing. It's not predictable, and you don't know what's coming.
I also picked him because he's a samurai and wears samurai armor and uses a katana in modern day, and I love that sort of stuff.
No, it's good. It was a good choice, and again, it was somebody. To be fair, it was someone I've never ever heard of, and I mean, I've quite a lot of the ones so far that we've picked and that we've talked about, I've at least heard something of. This guy I did not even know existed.
I don't even know where I found him, to be honest. I can't remember.
I'm not sure if you made just the Wikipedia page yourself, you know.
I did the facts himself.
Edited
Yeah.
by Tom.
Tremendous, Tom. Thank you very much.
Sorry.
So next week, Steve, it's your turn to choose the character of the week.
Yeah, okay. I was going to pick Moon Knight, but obviously with us mentioning Moon Knight earlier,
Yeah.
I kind of feel like I can't pick Moon Knight anymore.
You can.
No,
It's still
I'm
okay.
going to change it. I'm going to go with Taskmaster.
Oh, okay. That's still
Oh,
a
Just
good choice.
because
big
we've
shout.
already we
Nice.
talked a little bit about Taskmaster last week.
Taskmaster's
I
School
like
of
that.
Criminology, or whatever it's
And
called.
obviously with us having the sort of the villains episode and saying how successful that villain sort of things were, again, people don't know a lot about villains, so let's
I
try
like
and learn
Taskmaster.
together and teach other people some more stuff about Taskmaster.
That's a big shout.
Yeah.
I nearly bought his Marvel pop the other day.
You should have
Pretty
done.
cool.
Should have brought it in.
Yeah, I might do for next week.
In fact, who's Marvel Mystery is it next week?
Back to the start, it's Ben Cox.
Ben Cox.
Is it me?
Yep.
Cheers for putting me on the spot.
It's okay. So I know you've got a week.
It's good job I ain't going to pull out of my pocket now, innit?
7 days, Craig David, you're fine, don't worry.
Right, so let's move on to news then for this week.
We need a jingle for news, by the way. We need a news jingle.
Let's just make one up now.
Nate?
News.
Over to you, Nate.
News.
You could say it in the way of Schmiegel, because it's...
The human touch wasn't allowed at bank loan.
We've just got Anchorman for no reason. Anyway, news. Let's get back on track, shall we? So Spider-Man was officially announced as being called Spider-Man Homecoming.
It was, yes.
That's a bit of a strange name, don't you think?
CinemaCon, wasn't it?
No.
On stage at CinemaCon, yeah.
I think it's perfectly acceptable. He's going to be at school, isn't he? He's going to be young.
He's like 15, isn't he? In this?
Yeah.
Right, this is where again, I think it's Marvel
coming home.
having 2 or 3 double meanings about the title. Do you want me to tell you why?
Go for it.
Your faces are saying, Steve, tell me why.
Yes, please, Steve.
Steve,
Tell me why.
share your theory with us.
I'm scared.
Okay, well, first, Homecoming, like you say, 15-year-old, homecoming dance, big thing in America.
Yep.
Obvious. Tick. Number 2, Civil War.
Yep.
Obviously, he's going to go to Civil War. He's going to change the game, probably become a massive hero. Everyone's going to love him, so he's going to get welcomed back. Homecoming. Number 3,
Hashtag game changer.
the big one. Marvel have just got the rights back to their boy. Spider-Man's coming home to Marvel. Homecoming.
You've got far too much time on your hands, Steve.
It's just my theory, mate. I think it kind of tells itself, to be honest.
Mate, I almost think you work for Marvel.
Brutality.
Like that.
If I worked for Marvel, I would love it.
Do you think in the Civil War comics, the big sort of game changer is that Spider-Man comes out and says that he is Peter Parker? Like, he stands up for Tony Stark's side and says, I'm going to reveal my identity, because obviously that's a massively guarded secret over the years, is that he's Peter Parker. Do you think they'll follow that storyline? And do you think maybe that'll be another sort of homecoming, is that everyone knows who he is and that he's Peter Parker? And
Or will he try and keep away from that? If you know what I mean?
I hadn't
Not trying
really,
to keep it the same.
yeah.
I hadn't really thought about his identity actually going into Civil War.
Yeah.
I suppose you'd think they must know who he is, wouldn't you? But
Well,
then,
obviously the Avengers will know who he is. Well, or some of the Avengers will know who he is. It's more the fact of this being... The Civil War storyline is obviously that they're trying to get superheroes to register who they are.
Yeah.
They're going to work for the government and they're going to get a salary, and it's going to be the government's
How
say
much-
so at the end of
do
the
you know
day.
how much? Do they get paid overtime for
I think
weekends?
it depends on the powers. Like.
Okay.
So they have to come out and say who they are, but they'll be registered the superhero, and in the
Hi,
comics.
my name's Peter Parker and I'm a superhero.
Well, that's basically what happens. Is he takes his mask off and says, like he's at an AA meeting. Apparently, I would be very surprised if they did that, because it would make quite an awkward movie.
I don't see how they can.
Yeah,
I don't see where they go after that.
yeah,
In the sense that obviously that's always been one of the big parts about any film, really, not just Spider-Man, and just it's always been the secrecy, hasn't it?
yeah, exactly.
So I can't see them doing that, and I can't see them how they... I mean, don't get me wrong, it's a massive twist, and it might be a good twist to go with that. And again, like we were saying about Spider-Man movies being very predictable and very samey,
Yeah,
if that suddenly came out, then the first Spider-Man movie, everybody knowing who Spider-Man was, that would be a massive shock, and that would be a totally different film to what we've all seen before. So I'm not saying it's a bad thing, I just can't see that they'll do it.
yeah. No, I agree with that.
Ask me again in about a week's time and I'll tell you.
That's fair enough. So next on the news list we've got here is there's a first look at Iron Fist behind the scene photos.
Yes, there was.
Steve, you've put this on. Do you want to take the...
Yeah, well, again, just scrolling through different sites and things on Twitter and just on Google and things in general, there's a couple of photographs and videos that have been leaked. I don't know if they've been leaked officially or unofficially, but of the filming of Iron Fist. Very, very, very early stages, no costume or anything like that. Basically, the photographs and the videos were Danny Rand in the streets catching up with, I think it was basically who now runs Rand Industries.
Yeah.
The lady that's taken that over, him chatting to her in the street. I presume because he looks scruffy in his clothes. He's got nothing on his feet, no shoes or anything like that. He's not clean shaven. He looks as though he's just basically come back from Kunlun and said, like, I'm Danny Rand, and she probably hasn't got the foggiest who he is.
Yeah.
But yeah, they look good, and again, I'm really looking forward to that show whenever it comes out.
I was just quite surprised to see his big bushy beard.
It's a strong beard.
But there was one photograph that really caught me when looking at those was, I think he's standing in the middle of a road, like challenging sort of a car.
I've not seen that one.
Oh, did you not?
No.
Yeah, there was one where he's like standing in the middle of a road in like sort of a fighting stance with a car approaching him. So I didn't know whether that was like sort of one of those sort of cultural ignorances where he didn't really know what a car was. Maybe it would be a sort of a funny scene. But did it get you a bit more hyped to watch the show?
It didn't get me any more hyped because I'm already quite hyped.
Yeah.
But I just like the fact again just to see that it's in progress and that they're not wasting time. They're getting around to it. They seem to do these things quite quickly.
Yeah.
So yeah, no. I'm looking forward to see how they go about creating that costume.
What about you two? Will you two be watching this when it comes out?
I've not seen them, but after we did our first episode, sounds quite interesting. I'll definitely give it a watch.
Yeah.
Are you sure?
Yeah,
Probably will.
Probably will.
You guys need to catch up on the rest of the Marvel TV shows. You really do. They're so good.
Yeah, we do. To be honest, like Nave says, I didn't know nothing about Iron Fist until Steve dropped the bomb.
Brought him to the table, didn't I?
Brought him, literally, to the table.
Yep.
I think he's quite an interesting character, isn't he?
I must admit that when I was on holiday last week, I started to watch Daredevil Season 1.
Yeah.
Not to be watched with wives and girlfriends.
Why is that?
That's all I'm saying.
Why do you have wives and girlfriends?
I've got an harem.
There's a full harem.
Multiple.
Yeah, it's just a room full of them.
I was just talking around the table, just really
okay.
for those people that have wives or girlfriends.
Right, okay.
So yeah, it's very violent. And I liked it.
That's why it's good.
I got to a point where she said, we can't watch any more of that. And I said, okay, yeah, I'll watch it on my own.
You need to get watching it then.
I will do, yeah. It's just finding time, Thomas.
Okay, so let's move on to... There's been a new Civil War Audi advert released. Was it released today, yesterday?
I think it was today, or today's the first time I've seen it.
You sent me an email, didn't you, with that on?
Yeah.
A link to it.
I thought I'd...
Did you watch it?
I did, indeed.
Of course he did. Black Panther's in it.
Of course I did. Yeah, it's
He's
good.
watched it 37 times.
So what did you guys think of it?
I thought it was really good. I did.
Yeah.
It's pretty funny, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's just the fact that there's like a normal family just driving.
Do you think they had to record that separately, or do you think they've edited it with some of the clips already in it, if you know what I mean?
They would have recorded it separately.
I think that. I think they would have done it separately.
You mean like they've recorded the Civil War stuff again?
Yeah.
No, I
you
think they
think-
would have
oh, right,
put
okay.
the Civil War stuff quite around it.
I just think they've just been clever and just put it together.
Yeah, okay.
But I think the way they've done it is really good.
Yeah.
I'd love it if there was just a random cameo of them in the film.
I'm pretty sure that woman wasn't driving alongside Black Panther, actually waving at him.
Ben.
Get your hands on the car.
If it was me in the car, I'd have been waving at him.
To be fair, none of them looked that impressed, did they? They looked a little bit bored.
They were more
Yeah.
bothered about making sure their new Audi didn't get damaged by all those cars surrounding, I think.
To be fair, the amount of times we've said Audi so far, that should be some sponsorship coming our way. keep saying Audi.
That's true.
I thought it was a bit cheesy at the end where they turned off and he's like, that's why I married you or something.
I think the whole thing was a bit cheesy, really.
Yeah.
The whole car advert side of it, the actual footage again from the film was fantastic, but
We saw a little bit more, didn't we? We saw a few shots of like, Captain America getting in the car for one, because you didn't see that on the actual trailer, did you?
if he does that in the film.
Yeah, true.
Again,
Because he got into an Audi, didn't he?
That's what I mean. I don't. Nate, you laughed at Nate when he said that. But
That's a good point.
I'm not sure if, I don't know honestly the answer to what Nate said.
I think they've recorded it separately.
I don't know if
Don't
it's-
forget, how do you have paid millions for that, really, wouldn't they?
Yeah, I don't know. Again, we'll find out in a week or so, won't we?
Yeah, that's true.
Who's the car manufacturer again?
I think it was Audi.
Ah, okay.
They can pay us millions if they want.
Though if they don't, other cars are available. And next week's show, we'll talk more about Skodas.
Give them a go.
We'll try.
Keep trying, lads.
We'll try.
You never know. Between now and then, they might release a Skoda advert.
Skoda clip with the lesser characters like Hawkeye running around.
Trying to catch up in a Skoda behind him. If you want to wait for me.
It just shows Hawkeye faster than the Skoda.
Faster, but not more reliable, Nath.
Okay, let's move on.
Sorry, we've just written off Skoda's chances of any sponsorship, by the way.
I thought you brought it back at the end there. So, more product placement. MasterCard, what's this? Come on, you wrote this down again.
Oh, have you not seen them?
I've seen it.
No, what's this
you can
about?
get covers of like Marvel characters.
The actual credit card
Yeah,
is Marvel themed.
Yeah.
Where do we
Right.
get one? And
They're
how do we sign up
unbelievable.
for it?
Honestly, they look so smart. Again, like I just wish that I had one. I just want one. They're
I'm
amazing.
I'm actually going to get one.
Did you actually get anything for it?
Yeah,
though?
there's quite a lot of different sort of cards.
Yeah.
They're not all the same.
Is it just aesthetic though? What do you get?
No, we get benefits with Marvel.
Oh, right, okay.
I think you get discount off Marvel.com.
Yeah.
I think you get something like free shipping at different times of the year on Marvel.com.
10% off Skoda.
I think Skoda give you a free car and a free service.
Free Skodas.
But no, you do. You get some perks from having it.
You get to listen to Marvel Matters podcast for free as well.
Free of charge.
Yeah, free of charge.
In the Skoda.
Thanks to Skoda because of their kind sponsorship.
Exactly, yeah.
We don't actually have Skoda sponsorship.
We don't have any sponsorship. I think now's a good time just to say as well that those listening, obviously, you should hopefully notice that the sound quality has improved dramatically. That's thanks to our host, Tom, who's kindly paid out of his own pocket, unless anyone wants to give us some money towards it, for new microphones, new gear and everything, and it's hopefully making a big difference. So thank you, Tom.
Yeah, so if there's any problems with this, we're just getting to grips with all the audio equipment. We've gone, rather than one single microphone, we've got a lot of new equipment, so it's a learning process, so bear with us.
Hopefully we sound better.
But still look really ugly.
We still need to get a camera in here sometime.
No.
Definitely.
So after, you might have realised that through this episode I've been talking a lot about me reading the comics of Civil War. And that is because after last week's episode we spoke about Marvel Unlimited. This week I actually went and subscribed to it. And I have to say there is just so much stuff on there. It's overwhelming at first. It's so crazy, but reading the Civil War comic on my tablet, I turned my brightness up like Ben told me to.
Game changer.
And it's, it's just like the glossy comics this time. But has anybody ever thought about getting this as well? Is anybody else interested in this sort of thing? Or?
I don't know if I said when we last did it, I've got the app on my phone.
Yeah.
And I had a little browse at it the other day. But I haven't actually thought about getting them. But it's tough. I don't really have that much time, really, to sit down and actually go reading through comics.
See, I've started doing it when I go to bed now. Like, going to bed like half an hour earlier and just reading in bed.
I must admit, I stayed away from it because I wasn't sure what the content was going to be like. As in, I half anticipated that you get fobbed off with a couple of years old content and they don't really release new things on there.
Yeah.
But then when you showed me on your phone all the different availability, and there's thousands.
There's so much present stuff.
And the fact that they had all the modern day things and all the good things. I mean, I imagine that if you've got a reasonable tablet or anything like that, it would look really good on a tablet. You probably wouldn't really notice the difference from a comic. You obviously would, and the comic that you showed me, the example that you showed me, was when you were flicking through, and it wasn't changing page, but it was changing from different parts of the page.
Yeah, it was going like from panel to panel, or speech bubble to speech bubble and stuff.
So yeah, no, that, for me, I mean, that was really good, and it's something different again, and I think it's a way to combat the fact it is digital.
I thought it was really cool. Like, I've been looking for a way back into the sort of comic world for a good many years now, and it's just like, it would have cost me an arm and a leg to, say, buy a load of X-Men comics or buy a big anthology of all the Avengers comics and things like that. So this just absolutely gives me a way back into the comic world, and I can actually catch up on, well, if I can ever catch up on that much content, it's insane. But
Are the original comics?
Yeah.
Are the original stories?
Yeah. It's all the comics they've released, sort of thing.
Is it literally every comic on there?
I don't think it's
every comic, but
if you have a look at the end, I mean, when we finish here, I mean, if you show these guys the one you showed me, you honestly won't believe the amount of content on there.
It's unreal.
One thing I have just thought, which might be good, can you download certain ones so you've got them on your phone to look at all times?
Yes, you can do, yeah.
Yeah, because if you're going on holiday or something like that,
I think it's
that's
12.
A great shot.
Is it 12? Can you download 12 up to 12 at any one time?
I'm not sure about the number. I didn't do it.
I remember me looking when I did look into it really nearly did it, but I'm sure it said somewhere about it. You can, as a maximum at any one time, you can have 12 downloaded on a device.
Yeah, because if you're going on holiday, and how much was it again? Sorry, just
it's like, well, it's $10, which is about £6 or £7.
So for £6, if you're going on holiday, and you could download 12.
Yeah,
well, that's it. I was looking at the Civil War anthology, which was like £15 or something. So I thought, instead of paying that, I might as well pay for unlimited.
Yeah, well, my Secret Wars comic cost me about £16. So again, straight away, that's 2-3 months worth of subscription.
Yeah.
So you get Secret Wars and everything else that's on there.
Exactly.
So yeah, no, I think it's something that's good, and I think it's something that I might look into in the future. Again, I'm kind of waiting to see what your thoughts are and what your reviews are, and waiting for your username and password.
How many devices can you have it on top?
1. Sorry, guys.
Can we have a Marvel Matters Unlimited rather than
Put it through expenses.
What, make our own comics?
Put it through expenses paid for by Skoda.
Anyway, let's move on quickly. Just like to say a big congratulations again to Tilly for winning the competition last week. She chose the Captain America pop.
She did.
Which we have sent to you if you've not received it already. So congratulations again from everybody.
Congratulations.
Sorry, it's a bit late then.
Everyone chimed in, that was gorgeous. And just a big thank you to everybody who's been following us on Twitter, on YouTube, liking the videos, commenting. Everything has just been really appreciated and really well received, so thank you so much for that. Has anybody got anything else to say?
Yeah, the one thing I wanted to say was there's been a lot of people out there that have made a massive effort to make us feel good about doing what we've been doing.
Yeah.
Again, we still get very nervous when we sit here and do it because it's new to us, especially tonight again with all this new stuff. It's been like a starting again for us. But there's been people out there that have been retweeting, that have been liking everything, sending direct messages, tweeting into us, and there's been people that have been tweeting all their friends and telling them to give us a listen and everything else, and those people spreading the word. I mean, we can't. This is the reason why we're doing it now. It's fantastic. So yeah, just a big thank you. Keep doing what you're doing. Get all your friends to listen. Get your friends to follow us. Get your friends to subscribe to our YouTube page. And yeah, keep doing what you're doing.
Get all your girlfriends and wives to listen in as well.
But don't watch Daredevil with them.
Get your whole harem.
Yeah, but just on the back of what Steve said, like you say, we just appreciate all the support, don't we, really? Because at the end of the day, we're just 4 mates talking about Marvel, aren't we?
I think the first thing that, again, Tom said today is we're 4 guys. We're not claiming to know everything about Marvel, but we want to learn and chat about Marvel together and learn together, and hopefully other people listen to us and have a laugh along the way, and they learn a bit
you'll
too.
learn with us.
Yeah.
We're just teachers spreading the word.
But and I think you guys will agree, if anybody's got any ideas or any feedback that they want to give us for the show,
Of course.
then we'll take it on board and try and put extra features in there and stuff to...
Yeah, especially about content, about what we can do shows on, any extra content that we could possibly do.
We've got a few ideas in the pipeline. We won't give much away.
We've got to say, we've been planning shows, haven't we, in advance, quite a few different ideas. Yeah. And there is, again, without spoiling it, we are planning to do a sort of Twitter-orientated show in a few weeks' time, so keep an eye open for that. Yeah,
so just a big thank you again, really. And
it's getting very emotional right now.
It's thank you again, and we love you. No, well, we do love you,
but Tom loves everyone, so that means nothing.
Anyway, thank you very much for listening. We have been the Marvel Matters podcast, featuring the spectacular Steve,
Flame on,
the benevolent Ben,
Ben Smash,
the notorious Nath,
Avengers Assemble,
and I have been the tremendous Tom. Thank you very much for listening, and we'll catch you next week. Goodbye.
Bye.
See you. Bye.